and it's so better leave. Mama swap at the time and that's take it from me. Mama Jedi, be based in 2 days, I'm on 3, I'm gone. Palomino Patron, Cappuccino Patron, Alameda song, stack it up, stack it up.
What is up, ladies and gents? Probably mostly gents, if I'm being honest with you. But for any ladies out there, what's up to you as well? Welcome back to the pit, your weekly check-in for sort of the degenerate Discord monkey side of things, where we all sort of hang out and make irreverent jokes as we wait for price discovery. I'm your host, Satoastshi. With me, we've got some special guests. First of all, welcome back, Jedi. Thank you so much for joining us, sir. And then we've got a special guest we haven't had before, CryptoTube. What's up, dude?
I'm very well. Thanks for having us on.
Absolutely. I'm
Good Lord.
excited
Did you hear the pleasantries that came out of his mouth, the Welshman being all pleasant to
I'm excited to check in, tap in with y'all. We currently sit at sort of the verge of price discovery on Bitcoin and total market cap in general. And it's kind of it's an odd feeling where it feels like everyone kind of knows that this segment of things is coming, but we're just kind of sat here waiting on it at a much, like, you know, if you look at the buildup to the last time we were here in 2020, I don't know, it just seems a lot more vertical than like how we got here. It just seems, I mean, it is from a, you know, proximity to having perspective, a lot, you know, so it's a lot more aggressive, or has been. And I think it's got a lot of people off guard. It's definitely got a lot of people wondering, you know, are we going to get a shorter cycle post halving? How close are we to the end? And yeah, I don't know. It's like everyone's kind of sitting on the edge of their seat right now. How do you guys feel about where we're at?
Do you want to kick things off, Jedi, or shall I?
Go for it.
Okie dokie. So from my perspective, at the moment, I think there's still a lot of people who have missed out on a chunk of the gains that have unfolded so far. Just speaking to people I know who were around last cycle, who obviously didn't stay for the bear market, they're starting to trickle back now. I think a lot of people maybe have money they can add into the market here, but have been put off because the price has gone up so much. And so I think that's kind of the sticking point here. People want to allocate, but things are up quite a bit. That's obviously on a Bitcoin front, but a lot of the altcoins haven't yet moved. But I do feel like with the ETF flows and the bullish posturing of Bitcoin, we're just in for like a major BTC-led cycle. And if we're going to get to some huge numbers, which I think we will, this is just going to continue in this kind of bit of insane form here. It's going up pretty much in this kind of straight line for now. So I think until we see that kind of bend, and the trend is your friend until it bends at the end, I think we're just going to be in for some BTC-led action.
Yeah, I mean, it definitely seems like just this is total. And it does seem like our angle of ascent on a log chart, you are getting that sort of linear regression where like this is violent, it's a little bit less violent, and this one just seems a little bit less violent. But it definitely feels more aggressive. And I think RT in a previous stream, we had figured out that like this correction cluster right about here is where alts took over last time. And that was kind of before even, it might actually be here. I might be wrong about that. Around January 21 is where BTC dominance started falling. In fact, we could pull up a BTCD chart. And the peak of BTCD was, yeah, December of 2020. So if we go back to total, that would correlate to like, yeah, right around here, right around this correction is where it became an alt dominant cycle, and I kind of feel like we're there. I feel like we've really milked everything out of BTC. Like, you know, BTC maybe, like, in my mind, I know some people have more aggressive targets. I'm thinking like a 2.5x from here max on BTC, whereas alts still have like a lot of room to run. I don't know. What do you think, Jedi?
So, I mean, I don't want to answer the question by asking a question, but the question that keeps coming to mind when I'm thinking about where we are with Bitcoin right now is that Bitcoin's never done this before in the past before, and we always use the past as a reference point, rhymes and poems and all that kind of stuff, and it's just, I find that really puzzling, first of all. But maybe it isn't. Maybe it's just kind of like an accelerated cycle that obviously is a consideration. I think right now it really is an open book in terms of what could potentially play out. And I think what we need to be doing is asking the questions around what do the different scenarios look like, as opposed to, you know, the last cycle, it was quite a predictable one, even though there were subtleties and differences along the way. It was kind of like nothing really happened prior to the halvening, bit of a choppy market, halvening came, bit of chop afterwards, and then it fucking ran like a bat out of hell. Now, we're not seeing that right now. We've had this ETF. The ETF has added a whole new dynamic into the mix, but it's also not like this pure unadulterated cash flow coming in. Like, we've still got, you know, Grayscale that are dumping an incredible amount of coins into this market, yet they're being absorbed every day. And I think that also needs to be kind of like factored in, where you've got, you know, the guy who manages the biggest asset management company on the planet saying that this is the biggest ETF they've ever seen in human history. So does that mean that we're essentially like, firstly, accelerated cycle? Is it just going to land up being a blow off top because of that, and we're going to go back to the shenanigans? Because we've seen Bitcoin will still fucking dump like a boss, dude. It hasn't changed its behavior.
Yeah.
You know, it's still like has shown us the finger. Like, you know, 48k came, it dumped to 40k, and then we hit all-time high. And did you see how violent that fucking dump was when we hit all-time high? It was like watching
Pretty
Bitcoin.
aggressive,
Yeah, dude. And it's like, okay, so Bitcoin's still Bitcoin. So how does Bitcoin now behave? And then the other question, the third one, is, do we have a scenario where we have some kind of a super cycle here? And I know we've joked about it, but is it going to land up being like TradFi, which is just fucking up only for the next 10 years? I mean, obviously that's what we'd like, but that's what it is, you know? Like, those are the three dynamics that are going on in my mind. In terms of making up my mind, dude, I have absolutely no fucking clue.
You know, we've seen diminished returns already, but we haven't seen diminished losses, where like the correction, the bear market correction, has kind of always been 70 to 80%, and it doesn't seem to have like really slowed down much. I wonder if maybe, like, when we say super cycle, quote unquote, that just means like the next bear market, maybe BTC only falls 65%, maybe it only falls 60%.
Yes.
But as far as like, I'm less motivated by like the idea of like a super cycle where it just never does a major bear market correction. And again, I think that's like it's like when people started saying that, I was like, man, we're supposed to be saying this when it's time to sell, not this early. This is not, we shouldn't be psyops this early, dude. That's bad. I don't know. But yeah, it's definitely been, I mean, you look at this on the weekly and it's like, what do you have to be upset about? But it definitely has been a little bit, I don't know, it's been a tease.
It has been a tease. It's like one step forward, one step back, then two steps forward and one step back. And especially with the alts, right? And like I was explaining before the stream, is like, what I'm finding is that it's actually pretty cool, like on like trading like on the more short-term levels, like on leverage. Getting entries is pretty easy, it's all cool, but you don't have the scenario where it like will run for like several hours or even a couple of days. It's like you have a very small window of opportunity. You've got to like plan your trade a lot more kind of like shorter term, which is pretty frustrating because you've got to be there constantly, and it's just a different kind of game at the moment. Still very PvP.
Yeah. I've been liquidated a few times trying to leverage trade at the moment, so I'm kind of giving that a rest.
Right now, 8 days out of 10, it's actually not easy. Like, really, you've got to know your stuff. Like, if you don't have experience with leverage, this is not the market to be playing. It will come, but now is not the time to be playing, because you will get your ass handed to you properly.
I've been having less trouble. I've been having more trouble with spot than I have with leverage, because I just haven't been using high leverage. I just use like max, like 4x.
Yes. But the thing is, bro, you've had a huge amount of experience. You've been plowing these fields since the end of the last,
I've been leveraging none of that experience to find entries and plan trades. I've just been seeing like for instance, this morning I was like, all right, Doge is running. It's probably Doge's time. I'm just going to long bonk and Floki and not even really look at the chart to see where like my entry should be. It's like, I'm just going to open that long. If it draws down a bit, I'm fine with that, because ultimately I think it's just going to go way higher.
It's going to go up. Yeah.
Yeah. So I've really kind of worked in some more bad habits from last cycle and just use absolutely none of what I learned in the bear market. But yeah, but whereas with spot, like I found myself getting into less comfy positions, betting big with conviction, and shit's just chilling and it's not doing anything while I'm watching everything else rip. And I'm just like, wow, I really effed myself. So I've been trying to like free up cash and put it into IntentX and just keep it there, you know?
Yeah.
From my observation at the moment, though, it's been very much, you've got these select pockets of narratives and leaders. So you've got like Render, Bittensor and AI, you've got Whiff, you've got your Flokis and Doge and the meme sectors. They've been comfy to be in spot with. But yeah, as you say, I've got quite a few positions that have just been chopping sideways and down for a while now, which is quite frustrating. You have to have high conviction in the bags at that point, otherwise you are going to cut. And you know, we're literally one God candle away from you missing your entry again if you do cut those bags. So it's been a tricky one to trade on that basis. But I've just been backing winners, to be honest.
Yeah.
I think that's a good take. I mean, for me, the most frustrating bag has been whales. Obviously, on Solana, we've spoken about this extensively, and it's one of those that it's a guarantee you sell it, and then it's just going to go fucking one trip. You know what I mean? It's just one of those. And I think there's quite a few of those. There's quite a few people as well that can't relate to what we're talking about, where they've just been super lucky, rotated very effectively. And if you've managed to play that game, I think you've made money and you've done quite well up until now. Listen, there's been money going around, but it's not a foregone conclusion. Doesn't mean because like memes, I inevitably buy memes and 8 out of 10 of them, 9 out of 10 of them go to zero, you know, and it's just the way it is.
I found this cycle has been a lot more forgiving to people who just long any AI coin at any point. And then also people who try not to be early to memes, but people who get in at like 20M, 30M, those things run to 100M or a billion. And it's just a lot safer to not be early with memes. It's a lot safer to just like ape things that are already getting quite established. But yeah, like the barbell has been like AI deep in RWA more recently. Like you were totally cucked if you were in those like any time before BlackRock announced like their RWA fund. But yeah, like it's been like those are your infra plays that have just been performing like meme coins. Like this is Ajax, like Jesus Christ. Same with FET, you know. And then memes on the other end. Whereas like majors like BTC and Solana, like they seem to run into multi-month or month-long consolidations, and then they break out and they run into another multi-month consolidation. It's just like so frustrating.
My kind of thesis around memes at the moment is that you haven't really seen the quote-unquote crypto gains in other sectors of the market. So people who are new to crypto now looking for 10s, 20s, 50x's because that's what you've heard about crypto, your mate making $1 million off something stupid. the only place to achieve that at the moment is the meme coins. They've had that kind of liquidity suck on the market, and obviously with Solana being so cheap and easy to use, that's kind of been the home for now. So I think you're seeing the tourists come and want to play the memes because they don't really care about fundamentals, and they just want to make they want to pick a lottery ticket and hope for the best, and that's where we are with the meme coins right now. And the recent drawdown, a lot of things kind of have bottomed, and some have started to really move again and post new all-time highs. So the kind of thesis that the meme coins were going to be one and done, I don't think is actually going to play out. I think a lot of people are here to gamble this cycle.
Well, it's also like, I find that this consistent meme outperformance is actually just more intellectually honest, because it's like, none of this shit, like the real utility stuff, none of it solves any real world problem yet. None of it is useful for any real world application, except for like stable coins have like cross-border payments and remittance. Like, but beyond that, like, yeah, dude, your MEV optimized cross-chain like DEX, like it's not solving anything. So let's quit lying to ourselves and let's just play it for what it is. That's what the meme revolution seems to be.
But do you know what meme coins have replaced? And I mean this in all honesty, is essentially governance tokens.
Yeah, 100%. Yeah, this last cycle was like, oh, if you're a DeFi gigabrain, you can outperform because you'll pick the right governance tokens that catch a narrative. But like at the end of the day, none of that shit ended up being useful to anybody, and it all went to zero. So let's stop fooling ourselves. Let's just long Geo Bowden, you know?
It's the theater, of this governance. You've got governing power, but you've got $1,000 in a governance token. You have zero power. A16Z have got all the bags. They will decide what happens. You know, I think you're onto something with that. And people are pissed off, knowing from seeing in previous cycles, governance means fuck all, really.
Well, Uni turned on the fee switch, right? Or is it not on yet?
No, I think it's coming. I don't think it's on yet.
We're eventually going to get some like narrative about like, oh, look at the fees that this has generated to these holders. And then like perhaps governance tokens will catch a bid. One thing I've seen is, I missed this. This is Base's Dex Aerodrome, which is obviously a fork of Solidly, like Velodrome on OP. Yamjeet in the pit had caught this early. He was like, it's the Dex on Base, it's on Coinbase, and it makes sense. I'm just gonna long this. And it did like an 8x like for him. And I was like, you know what was depressingly down is Velodrome. Velodrome is down bad. It was the Dex on OP, same as Aerodrome. And so I scooped this up like in this consolidation here, and it's just going absolutely nuts. And so now I'm wondering, like, are just down bad dexes on reasonably still alive chains just going to start doing this? Maybe that's a narrative.
So I don't know if you watched the stream that I did with Messi early on today.
No, I was working at the time, but I'm going to catch up on it tonight.
So it's actually worth watching from a strategic perspective. Like, some people I think were quite bored because they were expecting like this coin and that coin, but what he provided was, in my opinion, way more valuable than that. And he spoke about, essentially the thesis is, let me find bottomed out charts that have value present in them and might be relevant within the context of whatever might be coming next. So coming to that conversation, like revisiting that conversation and answering the question that you just asked around, do dexes that have been done only on chains that could see a bid later down the line? This looks like one of those charts that Messi would
down
bid
bad
on
charts.
in the event. Yeah, that Messi would bid on in the event that he sees an opportunity. And I think there's a lesson to be learned there, or several.
Let's call this section down bad. We'll add comp, CRV, CVX definitely belongs in there.
CVX is one of those bags that does actually fulfill the criteria of what it is that I'm talking about.
Yeah.
Like we know there's value there, dude. It's not there is value there. It's just down bad.
YFI is
Aura's the
down
same.
bad. What?
Aura
Aura.
Finance is
Yeah,
the
that's
same
a
as well.
reasonably new one too.
You see what happened
Aura.
to Prisma today? We got hacked, and that was one of the candidates as well.
Yeah, but I mean, it's like, damn, dude. This is brutal. Shit, it doesn't even show any signs of life.
No,
Yeah,
there's nothing.
well, it's like also like I don't know if like this like essentially in the era of DeFi, like a large trick was played on us with these useless governance tokens, and I don't know if the trick can be played again. That's the one thing that I've considered is like I don't know.
Might not be a bad idea to test the theory and don't put too much in it. You do like a 20,
Aave
30x.
great.
Yeah, Aave was another one which was brought up. But is it going to outperform? Probably not. But could you do a 3 or a 4x? Probably yes.
Yeah. Yeah. I mean another one that's been going crazy, Ampleforth. Which is now Wample that RT's been shilling. Like,
Yeah,
that's a last cycle DeFi coin that just went nuts. So maybe it happens again. I don't know. Beyond that, what are you guys playing? Like, what are you scoping out? Meme coins, AI, whatever.
Balls deep in meme coins.
What do you
meme
got,
coins,
dude? Show us your bag.
We got Whiff.
Okay.
We got Retardio. We got
Retardio. How's that doing lately?
that is range lows today.
Mm.
The chart is pretty bad today, to be honest with you. That is range lows, so it's either gonna
But
bounce or die.
this is one of those charts where you go and you buy this, and then in 2 weeks' time, the thing is doing 2x from all-time highs. This is in my opinion, this is a good buy. In fact, I'm going to go and buy a bag right now.
So this is kind of like a culture coin as well because it's being used in terminology on Twitter a lot as well. So people are using Retardio to sign off, like Remilio. It's got that kind of it's almost the on-chain version of Mog on Solana. So Mog's also another one that I think will absolutely cook this cycle as well. Mog's going to go do big numbers.
Yeah. It's also a Remilio coin, so
I think Pepe does the same thing.
I bought a Mog t-shirt and posted it the other day, and the impressions on that I posted on Twitter were absolutely freaking insane. Like you just get mocked by their community and they go wild. So like you can just tell that kind of social pressure and that social buy-in around a token is something really, really special.
Yeah.
This is going to go higher, no doubt.
I don't know if I can. Yeah, I'll say it. One of my main plays has been this dumb gay retard. This is one of my favorite meme coins ever, dude. The guy, so you know Twickerties on Twitter.
Yes.
He kind of was like responsible for the initial shilling that got Bowden off the ground. And this is the next thing he's shilling. And I love it. 861K. It got as high as I think 2 mil. But I've been in this since like pretty much around here-ish. Big fan. Another thing I saw that was super interesting. Have you guys seen Mail?
No.
On Solana?
No.
Check
Male
this out,
as in male, female.
No, male is in
We've got male.
Male, yeah. Here, let me try to pull up their Twitter real quick. Totally retweeted them. And it piqued my interest because my vocation is digital marketer, so I'm into email marketing. And this basically allows you to send a mail, like an email, to any Solana address, including SNS.
Nice.
So it's like your wallet becomes an inbox as well, and it works and it just went absolutely apeshit. And this is the day that they just showed you the successful tests, and it's
So
like, man,
we can
go
call
ahead.
on chat. We can call on chat, and we can text via the mail as well. So Solana's piecing together communication all around.
Well, it's one of the things about Web3 that's been so odd to me is like, why don't you guys use regular digital marketing? Like, very rarely do you see like a protocol have an email list and offer things to sign up for the email list and give value through the email list, because they're always talking about like, we need distribution, we need a dedicated community. It's like, dumbass, they've been doing this for 20 years. It's called an email list. Like, like, what do you mean? Like, you could totally do that.
In all fairness, there are a lot of protocols that use email lists. I mean, obviously,
No,
not
100%.
everyone
Every
does,
time I see it,
but
I'm
they do.
like, this,
Yeah.
good job, because it just seems to be a very rare thing that they practice actual digital marketing. It's more about like in Web3, marketing is like Discord communities and Twitter, like, and KOLs. Like, that's what marketing is. It's not ads, it's not email, it's not funnels, it's like public relations, basically. So I thought this was like a super cool form of utility. And I hope I see more from it. I hope I see more like messaging protocols, because there's just no good way to do that in Web3, and people are reluctant to like give a valid email address. What else is cool?
My favorite
doing well.
Popcat just got listed on Barbits. Yeah, it's like fucking it's just cooking. My favorite meme coin is without a doubt Stanley.
Stan?
I mean, how this thing is not at $1 billion is just beyond me.
Because of their video team, you mean?
Their production is just spot on, dude. Like, they've just nailed it at every level. I love it.
I see so many people have the cups in real life as well now. Like, they've become really fashionable. So I think this will be a good hook for a lot more retail entrants. People will be like, oh, I have a Stanley, I'll buy the shitcoin.
My worry is that the fad of the cups themselves will expire before, like, long before this bull market's over.
Stanley cups have been they last forever. They've been around since the 50s, bro. What the hell are you talking about? One of the great,
I didn't know that.
One of the great,
the thermoses,
one of the great American, one of the great American inventions, my friend.
Oh, I had no idea.
A Stanley flask will keep an iced whiskey in that flask, iced for literally days.
Oh, that's sick.
Now you know what I use my Stanley flask for.
Is yours pink, Jedi?
No, it's green. It's camo green. I take it with me into the desert, and it keeps me cool and it keeps me hydrated.
Sick.
Dude, Hxro has been on a goddamn tear. Look at this thing.
Wow.
You know this?
No, I don't know this.
It's decentralized onion relay protocol. So it's Tor, but anonymous, which like Tor already is, obviously. And they had like, this chart doesn't show all the history, but around the time it got listed, Tor came out and was like, there's no plans to support this. Like, we have nothing to do with this. And it dumped hard. I was able to like ride. It doesn't show on the weekly, but there was like a little, this rebound here I caught. And then I just forgot about it. I took my money and ran, but good God, it's going nuts. And it makes me think a lot of the, like, we're entering that part of the cycle where like this has no feasible way of working or mattering. Doesn't matter anymore.
Doesn't matter. Well, aren't we seeing a lot of the AI stuff that's out there that's just pure vapor, where guys are pretending to be setting up cloud services to facilitate the demand for GPUs? But
there's like 1 million GPU coins now.
There's 1 million of them. But the interesting thing is that there's some that are doing extremely well. GPU itself has done super well. I mean, it's just had a 30% day. Quite recently, it's kind of leveled to all-time highs.
Node AI.
No,
one?
they are. That's right. Yeah. No, they are. You've got
Good God.
IO.net that's coming onto market at a $1 billion valuation, and these guys actually are doing the real deal. They are going to demonstrate that they've got GPUs and servers and the rest of it. And I think if they can convince the general crypto community that they are legit and it isn't vapor, I think that thing goes to 10-15 billion dollars
Yeah.
like this. I don't even
That,
think
Yeah.
you'll blink and it'll go there. It'll be insane.
That's one of a few coins that are on my immediately market buy at TGE and not even look,
Yes.
just bid.
Yeah.
Just bid. I think they've got
IO,
almost
you mean?
200,000 IO
IO,
coin.
yeah. Mm.
They've got like 200,000 GPUs on the network now. And obviously, once the token goes live, there'll be incentives for people to join the network. So it's going to absolutely cook. It's just how much meat is left on the bones once it hits open market. But I'm just going to buy it anyway because I think it's really important.
Yeah, I mean, market cap targets are hard because clearly they're going to be bigger, right? Like, I think last cycle, like top 100 guaranteed you were $1 billion. At the top, I wouldn't be surprised if that upped by like 10x.
Yeah.
So
like,
I mean, obviously, the topic of this week's stream is like, what is the upper level of the market cap that we're going to see? I mean, and the thing is that, I mean, even from the tail end of the bear, there were conversations that we were having, and it was kind of like, well, it seems realistic that if we got to 3.8 trillion in the previous cycle, that with the ETF and the rest of it, kind of like a safe prediction, I would assume, would be close to $10 trillion market cap. Are we underselling that? But even at 10 trill, I think an average of like kind of like your more prominent protocols in the space, I don't think $10 billion is going to be such a big number. I know that sounds crazy, but 6 months ago,
already the top like if you're in the top 20, you're basically at 10 bill.
Yeah.
I think soon that gets to like the top 50 and maybe even the top 100.
Agreed.
And that, like, what does that put for something like Solana? Like, does that get to, what is it at now? It's at 82 bill market cap. FGV's probably, FDV's over 100 bill. So it's starting to push into like territory previously reserved for only Ethereum or like peak mania.
Well, you had Carbongo that went to 96 billion at peak last cycle, and what the fuck is that thing offered to space? Like, come on, let's be realistic here.
Yeah, there needs to be a shake-up in the top.
The shake-up's coming, and it's coming. Definitely.
I mean, dude, why is... I never hear anyone talk about Toncoin, and it's number 13 right now. Except for the Telegram partnership. Like, I never hear anyone talk about it. And it's up there. Dot is up there. Like, they definitely need to be a shake-up.
You know Rosebot in Telegram?
Yeah.
The little ginger lady that pops up.
Yeah.
She's now got the whiff hat on top of her head after the marketing group have paid a large sum of money.
Wow, that's amazing.
As of the last couple of hours.
Oh, that's amazing.
An update today. Because I think they've got like you then have exposure to anyone who's on Telegram will potentially see that hat on her head, which is pretty freaking crazy.
You know what I think is a really interesting question to ask is like,
at
what market cap does this thing go to at peak? This thing that we're looking at right now.
Well, like SHIB got to 40 billion, and it's right now it's at like what 26. Let me go to the meme coin race.
It's like 1920, isn't it? I think
SHIB is at 18.7.
I think once WIF convincingly flips Pepe, it'll run to SHIB this cycle for sure. Because it's a better meme than SHIB. And SHIB doesn't have a hat as well. So that's obviously a big factor.
That's a huge factor.
Huge.
Massive.
It's the missing link, in fact. I honestly think that Pepe is going to be at the top at the end of the cycle. I think it wins the race.
Yeah, I think SHIB needs to come down, and the top three will be Doge,
with
Pepe, and WIF in some order, and then DWF have a fuck ton of Floki, which they are just.
So I like Floki. I like.
I'm long Floki right now, dude.
Yeah, I like trading Floki because it makes significant and then it maintains its moves. It doesn't do the
Yeah.
spastic retrace stuff.
Oh yeah, yeah. Why is like it's
Yeah, what is
crazy
that?
that
What is
looking
that?
at some
What
of
is it?
these Corgi AI, right? What the hell is it?
Because it's got AI in it, it gets an extra couple bill.
Oh, on God, yeah. I wonder if Bohm gets a resurgence. I wonder if any base coins get to 1 bill
Bowden
in the
should
near
do,
future. Yeah, I don't know. I don't
It's
know, dude.
crazy because these memes are set in the kind of glass ceiling for everything else now as well. Because a couple months back, you wouldn't have thought WIF could get to a dollar, and now people are shouting PopCat to $1 next as the first cat
People
to
are
one.
saying whiff to $100, dude.
Yeah, that's the roadmap, isn't it? So we'll see.
So I've got an interesting one to share with you guys that might actually be worth tracking. And that's
Gay
Zen.
retro?
Zenith. So Zen is about to approach its LVP price. So it has gone up a bit from its lows, but it's only at a 6.5 million market cap. I think this might be, and there's liquidity there, and it's pretty new, and I think there might be legs in this thing to do nice things. Just thought I'd share that with you guys.
What
I'm
is it?
pumping my bags.
Yeah, what to do?
It absolutely does nothing. It's an airdrop tool. It's like these guys go out and farm, and then they basically give revenue to people who are holders of the token.
Oh, yeah. There's where is it? Let me pull it up. Is this showing? No, it's not showing. What the hell? Hold on.
What's going on?
Open Discord. Cool. Let me just grab this Discord channel real quick. Do you know Tensor Sharks?
I don't actually. What's the story there?
So this is an NFT project that basically like the mint price for all the NFTs goes into a fund, and then they farm airdrops. They farmed
cool.
Tensor Season 2, and everyone exited. They sold their NFTs after they got their drop, but those NFTs, the Season 2 Tensor Sharks, carry the loot boxes that have yet to be opened, which is presumed to be Tensor token.
Nice.
And then Tensor Season 3, they're farming Tensor, Camino, Parcel, Meteora, what else? I know they got Drift. So yeah, they've been using NFTs for this utility to do airdrop farming, and they're switching to a token for Season 4, the T token. But like, I think we're just going to see more and more of that, which really makes the whole airdrop concept rather silly if they keep doing shit like this. Because now it's just going to be mostly farmed by like protocols farming on behalf of users. It's kind of wild. But yeah.
So if you own a LARP NFT, which we finished auctioning,
that's another airdrop NFT.
So that NFT is going to have lots of interesting things that we can't talk about yet. But those who hold them, all I can say is you're in for some treats.
I need that honorary, Doug.
and the interesting thing about it is that there is no like shelf life on it, because as long as protocols are willing to provide for a captured audience, which they all are with airdrops, then the LARP NFT will be relevant.
Well, on Wednesday next week, I'm going to the London meetup to see some of the other boys. So I'm sure if Grant's 10 pints deep, I'll find out what all the perks are then.
Nice.
He'll probably be 12 points deep, so you'll probably hear more than just the perks.
Mad Lads are 25K.
Yeah, dude.
Tensors are, I think they're up to like 4 or 5 sol now. So LARP is probably a great way to get access to tons of interesting protocols.
Correct.
And I've been meaning to pick one up. Yeah. So beyond all that, Do you guys think that the sort of meme on one end of the barbell and then like AI and DPIN on the other end and RWA, do you think that ends at any point this cycle, or do you think it's just all the way through going to be like that?
So I think memes will be, I think memes and AI will be a constant, and I think it's going to come down to which protocols or which memes within those two categories, or deepen will include in AI, can capture the market share through effective marketing and obviously whatever kind of drums that they beat. So I think there will be plenty of opportunity within those two, and I think we're going to see a lot more $1 billion memes come out of the woodwork and that haven't even been thought of yet.
Yeah.
I do,
This
however,
one
think
going to $1 billion, dude.
there we go. I mean, there's so many possibilities, and I
Straight
hope
on
for your
Coinbase.
sake, straight to Coinbase, do not collect $200.
Imagine seeing that.
But what I'm interested in is to query, what relevance does GameFi play in this cycle? What
Oh,
relevance
it's already
does...
going nuts, dude. Look at VRA,
is.
look at Prime.
No, but I'm talking like proper, dude, like stuff that's doing clear 100x's and all that kind of shit. Oh, that's parabolic, bro. Wow.
Yeah.
Yeah, Prime is 20. It hit like a 28x from the lows,
And that thing
and it's
could
probably
quite
going to hit
easily-
100x.
Yeah, so I reckon that thing will chill and then it will carry on. So anyways, so how does GameFi now? I mean, you've answered part of the question. You know, what other narratives do you think we'll see? I mean, I'm curious. What do you think, Gaz?
Yeah, I'm kind of back in memes, gaming, AI. I've got a few bets in RWAs, some deep in crossovers with AI as well. But those are the main sectors I've been focused on, to be honest with you. And like, I feel like this time around, this cycle, there's just too much to look at
Yeah.
that you can't possibly do well in all the categories. But like, if you can pick, say, 3, 4, 5 categories, do your homework, and then try and buy like the top 2 in each sector, I think you do really, really well.
Yeah.
I do like Render a lot as well for AI, and they just onboarded that guy from Stable Diffusion as well as an advisor, which is big. They'll pump the bags. They will.
I mean, have you guys seen what Desync has done in the last 2 weeks?
Desync?
Like Desync, dude. DSYNC. Like Desync is one of those protocols that could easily be construed as vapor from the outside looking in.
Oh my God.
They've apparently
60% today. Wait, what the fuck?
So these guys actually
Destra,
dude. They apparently have their shit together. Like they've got a legit protocol, and they're just
208
building,
million market cap. What the hell?
and it just keeps going. And this is one of those that could quite easily, if it keeps this momentum, it could easily go to $2 billion in the next month or so. Anyway,
So
what do they
Grant's
do?
asked, well, Grant's asked me to do a
cloud.
deep dive.
Oh, these
I need to
guys.
do a deep dive on this one. Yeah.
Yeah.
So
What are they up to?
GPUs,
haven't even-
cloud, very similar
Oh,
to what IO.net are doing.
Okay, got you.
Mm.
Yeah, good God. The
Good God.
like a week or two ago, someone posted a chart of RWA on CoinGecko, all the tickers, and Ansem said one of these is 10x undervalued right now, and everyone thought it was checks. It was about here.
Wow.
And it's been up only ever since. So checks has been a major outperformer in RWA. Rio has also been
Ondo as well.
Yeah, Ondo. I feel though like Ondo has a lot of KOL love.
Oh, is it? Okay.
But it's like compared to like checks in Rio, it really hasn't done much. Like that's a 4x from the lows after launch. But for instance, Rio just in the last like 8 days is the same.
Wow.
And if you go from the lows, it's like
So you could argue that if
Funny, I
Ondo
might
can
not.
get rid of the flotsam and the jetsam, it could easily do the same thing.
Yeah, I just think it's over. It's like just too much attention and not enough beta.
Okay.
Like,
yeah.
I think it also launched pretty hyped, right? Another one is it's just been up only is Grand Base. This is RWA on base, and yeah, it's, I mean, compared to a lot of its competitors, reasonably low market cap. Plus, Coinbase is going to be like an RWA custodian, right? Working with BlackRock, so kind of makes sense to have like the RWA on base chain. But another thing I've been thinking about, I want to know what your guys' opinion on this is, but I think that I don't think BlackRock's going to be buying Rio like GB. I think they're just going to make their own thing. Like, you know, like you have all these like a non-slaving away a decentralized real world asset to synthetics for years and years, and then BlackRock just comes in and is like, oh, we'll make it in 2 days, and like fuck it. Like, I don't know. I just feel like there's no follow through on the narrative.
I have a question for you lads. What do you think is going to happen with the Ethereum ETF?
With Ethereum
ETF.
Looks like they really don't want to do it.
Is this the shakeout to ensure the plebs sell their ETH and then they approve it out of nowhere and then it goes up?
Dude, I don't know. Anyone who sold ETH and bought literally anything else is not a pleb. They're a gig Chad so far. They made a wise decision. It just seems like willful underperformance. It's so much so that like it's not just that it never pumps or doesn't pump much. It's that if it even breaks like a 3% day, the whole market's gonna tank.
Yeah.
It's been like the harbinger of death the whole cycle. Like every time it pumps, it's just been like, oh, get ready for a multi-week correction because ETH just pumped.
That's part of Ansem's thesis, isn't it? That ETH will be the last thing to run. And then that's the curtain call, get the F out. Yeah.
Or maybe it just slow runs because it's been slow running like the whole time. So maybe it just continues to slow run.
The thing is, though, it doesn't actually matter what we think. It really doesn't, because you've got the big bags.
Disagree.
No, dude, you've got the big bags who wants an ETF in this. And Mr. Big Bags always gets what he wants because ultimately he is the one who is running the show. And I don't think that we don't see an Ethereum ETF. And does the Ethereum ETF play into the end of the cycle as Ansem predicts? Maybe.
I think that makes a lot of sense. I think it makes sense for BTC to slow down, not necessarily like do bad, but just slow down.
Slow down.
And then ETH to kind of just maintain the same speed it's had. You know, not even needs to speed up, just needs to maintain the same speed while BTC slows down. You know, maybe we get an alt season and then like that's your cycle. I don't know.
Yeah. We need up only, guys.
Yeah. I mean, it's funny because if you look at like all these charts, it's like, what do you mean? Like, it's been up only, but it doesn't feel like it. It doesn't feel like that pure euphoria, everything up 20% each day. Like,
it's been super tricky, dude. Like it's been, it's not, it hasn't been that easy. And I think the only people who think it has been are the ones who have made good calls, but mostly have been lucky, in my opinion.
Yeah. XO, like, it's funny because I've been rotating back to like XO's tweets because I know like all the Europore scalpers like caught it bad, you know, kind of being off sides as we started taking off and then like licking their wounds, but he's been murdering it. Like his content has been on fire lately and he's just been calling sick trades. And he posted something the other day that was like this is a rotator cycle. Like you have never had like everything running all together at once. It just hasn't really happened much. But if you can like pick the right tickers and pick your spots, more importantly, like you've just been making out like a bandit. And yeah, I think that's true. It's been a much more like rotational cycle, not necessarily PvP, because it's not like everything craters that's not doing well. It just kind of sticks around and consolidates for months. Yeah.
The kind of Ansem posted this monthly breakdown, just some predictions on what will trend, and he thinks April Solana and meme coins, which kind of like it's already been happening, but of course,
next month is his back.
But solid meme coins, and that kind of like, if you see the fractal of when Bitcoin breaks out, then Doge has the outperformance and sends. We're kind of in that phase potentially here where Dogecoin looks like it's going to rip, and obviously that'll take all the meme coins up astronomically. So that could play out in April. Obviously, halving comes, and then you are going to have that supply shock. I don't know how quickly that kicks in, but that could actually happen a lot quicker this time with the hoovering effect of the ETFs. And then there's a few big buyers in the market on top of that. I think he has for May social fine NFTs as a rotation, and that could come in line with Friend Tech.
NFTs are down bad.
Yeah, mine are screwed. I got some art blocks and things that I paid so much money for that are just absolutely fucked.
Yeah, my Tensor unrealized P&L not looking good. I need Salt NFTs to moon, dude.
You know what's been a bit of a frustrating hold, I think, over the last month, and speaks to what Hxro was saying is actually has been tar. Tar has been very frustrating. Like, it's just kind of held this spastic range, and it hasn't really done anything outside of it.
I mean, this was wild though, right? Like,
it was wild. No, I'm not complaining about it. I think it's more around like how this AI kind of narrative. I think a lot of the charts look like this. A lot of them, kind of like this
it's
kind
a
of
casual
dragon
24x.
Yeah, not 24x.
Yeah. I mean, I kind of agree. Like, Tau, it's the AI sector leader. It's just so big already that it's like tough to move.
I think Render's number one now.
Oh, is it?
Oh, is it really?
Yeah,
okay.
and
I think
from what Messi said on the stream earlier, that the Tau kind of core have said they're not going to pursue tier 1 listings, i.e. we're not going to try and pump the bags for you. That has meant that I think it's going to potentially give up its lead to Render, because it was looking like it was going to be number one, foregone conclusion. But if you've got a team
Render's
who
only
are
like
motivated,
an AI proxy, isn't it? Like, it's not directly AI.
But if they're going to pump the bags and they've got the label, like,
I think that's a mistake not going to tier 1 exchanges. I think, in fact, it's straight up dumb. I'm actually selling my bags. Fuck that shit.
Doesn't it cost like 2M to get a Binance listing? Like, it costs, right?
Yeah, but you don't have to go for a Binance listing. You can go and get an OKX listing or a Bybit listing, and you can do the volumes, and then Binance will walk in and beg you for it, dude. And by then you're making so much coin anyways. Your coin is pumped 300x. You pay them.
Yeah. Well, I wonder, like, I wonder if Coinbase is the only exchange where you don't have to pay to play. You just have to be lucky. I don't know.
It comes down to volume, right? It's a volume game.
Yeah.
It's where they make their money. I think the fee is just an added bonus because they can be the bitch asses sitting on their thrones. That's what it is.
Well, this week you had Shadow and Neon EVM, 2 Solana coins listed onto Coinbase, which is quite interesting because the liquidity on Neon on chain is terrible. So that's a strange one for Coinbase to list. I think it's a lower market cap than Shadow, but Shadow is obviously like, it makes a bit more sense.
So
are there two Shadows? What the hell?
I've got a good one for you guys that I think is being unnoticed at the moment, and that's AIOZ. It's AI Deepen. These guys have run in the last cycle. It has pumped a lot. but I think this thing could do a 10x from here, even though I think it's at $1 billion already. I think it could go to 10 bill quite easily.
For
Great
sure.
great team. We've actually been working with them on content. Great team. These guys, they samurais. They know exactly what they're doing. And yeah, I mean, I got in sort of at around 40, 50 cents. And it's just really done well, and it just maintains its levels. You know, when something moves, it moves, holds the level, sticks around, moves again. It doesn't do like retracing bullshit. I like this thing. It's got the right ingredients.
You know, Messi saying that about Tau is interesting, because it's like, when I think about these AI coins, it's like, well, none of these are going to compete with ChatGPT. Like at a consumer level, none of them are going to, like, consumers are not going to use these AI protocols. Like, it just doesn't seem likely.
Fair comments, yeah.
And so at that point, it becomes very much like a meme coin. Like, what would make a meme coin pump? KOLs, tier 1 exchange listing, like same shit. So just treat it like that, and you'll actually have a lot better signal than like how good is the underlying protocol. It kind of doesn't seem to matter. It's more like, how good is the team
but this is the thing about io.net that I'm saying, is that if they can prove to the market that it's not vapor, right? Because everyone just assumes, oh, well, it's vape and it doesn't matter. As soon as you got someone who proves that it's more than that, what do you think that thing's going to do? I mean, it's going to do that. I mean,
I think chips and DPIN is a lot easier to gauge on like a fundamental perspective, right? For sure.
Yeah, totally.
But like things that are meant to be software solutions, like, are a lot harder, a lot more like memes than anything else.
I think for the AI basket as well, though, like it depends how many like people are converting from centralized AI into decentralized AI at the moment. There was that Emand guy. Now the Emand from Stable Diffusion to join the advisory board of Render this week, and he's put in his Twitter bio decentralized AI. Like, this could be a movement of people saying, well, we don't want the centralized power to be the thing that runs the planet, and they might try and there might be a big move into the AI coins off the back of that. And I think a lot of people don't understand how much of an impact AI is going to have on jobs, etc., over the next few years. And I think a lot of people are going to be unemployed sooner than you think. And we've got a potential ticket to ride for massive gains off the back of something that's going to be really, really disruptive.
So you're saying like 3 hot babes are going to replace us to do commentary on DeFi?
Yeah, they won't be real, but they'll have bigger boobs.
That's what I mean. AI generated hot babes who aren't real, who will do the hero stream from here on out.
If you want a deep dive on you know, what you're just talking about, check out Post-Labor Economics. This is exactly what you're talking about. It's what's coming.
Post-labor. Wow, dude.
Yeah. There's a guy on YouTube who does a deep dive into this stuff, and he just explains all the like first and second order consequences of like which jobs will be replaced first, what will still be valuable, how will that work out, what about UBI, like all that stuff. He just goes deep into it. It's super interesting, but I do very much think we're quite close, and probably faster than most people imagine.
Yeah. Do you watch the Rogan podcast?
Yeah.
So Joe Rogan had Donnell Rawlings on yesterday.
Oh, okay.
No, a comedian, but they were talking about Tyler Perry, the film producer.
Yep.
He was spending 800 mil creating this brand new production center. He saw the trailer for Sora from OpenAI,
and he was red pilled.
He canned the whole thing. He canned it and said, what's the point in us doing this? We can AI is going to be doing it. So
100%. There's just so many jobs that would be replaced. And I thought it was did you see the Kurzweil episode with Rogan?
No, not yet.
So I've been anticipating the era we're in now since college, because I was red pilled by Ray Kurzweil and TED Talks he did back then, and also the books he wrote in the 80s, where he pretty much predicted like nailed it on everything that's happening just by looking at the exponential growth of compute. So he basically was able to say like, all right, compute price performance doubles every year.
Yeah.
And so just looking at the raw compute power, here's some benchmarks we should be able to hit. A computer more powerful than any today in your pocket. Predicted that. Predicted, when it will be reasonable to have like $1,000 computer be as powerful as a human brain and things like that. And has been shouting this shit since the 80s, and everyone's been fading him for decades. And like right now he's sitting pretty because he nailed it on all this shit.
So essentially what you've done is that you've presented me with the ultimate thesis for why NVIDIA will just continue going up.
Oh, NVIDIA might be the only company. And I've largely been thinking that like
dude, this is NVIDIA's god. This is NVIDIA. This is 100%. The case for NVIDIA, 100%.
Yeah. And we got a taste of it in COVID era, which was nobody was working. Everyone was given free money to then ape into the stock market.
Correct.
Right. And so to me, that was like a capitalism 2.0, where we have this sort of socialist layer of regular humans where we all don't work anymore and we're just given helicopter money. And what we are is the substrate that capitalism runs on. Capitalism is this contest to see how many votes can you get with dollars. Amazing. And so they give all of us plebs the dollars to vote on which is the best capitalist. And right now we're all voting like NVIDIA, like they're clearly winning. And I think that's where we end up. And that kind of, that's what makes me a little bit like hesitant to say like, oh, we're definitely not going to get a super cycle, because man, if AI starts replacing jobs and then UBI becomes a very real need, at that point, like we're all just speculative audience for who the best capitalist is.
Yes. It's quite depressing and also entertaining, which means that we're going to have to up the ante on the number of hero streams that we do a week. We'll probably do 5 a week. Yeah. We won't have anything better to do. And then we'll just buy meme coins. That's our lives right there.
It seems to be about it, dude. Yeah. What are we doing? We're speculating on culture and technology. It's what we've been doing more and more every cycle, and we're 100%. Getting to the apex of it. And it's like, maybe that's what our jobs will be henceforth.
On that note, I think it's the top of the hour.
Well, yeah, I think that provides some good alpha for me. Exactly what tickers to ape. But yeah, I think for right now, Jesus Christ, no way.
What?
Holy shit, dude. 72% on the day.
Cool. I'm glad.
Whoa, dude. All right.
Well done, bro.
I gotta go sell my velodrome.
Yeah. Go enjoy yourself.
Yeah. Well, this has been fun, guys. I hope we get to do this again sometime soon. Always a pleasure having you on, Jedi. CryptoTube. Super awesome to meet you and chat with you. Are there any other things you guys want to address before we head out of here, or should we just say sayonara?
Buy a LARP NFT, and that's it.
All right, and I'm also gonna. Oh, go ahead.
I was gonna say, I think it's really cool to be in a bull market and to be enjoying it, and yeah, don't take it for granted. I mean, we've just come out of a bear, and don't think that the market owes you anything. Just enjoy what's in front of you, even when you do get fucking rinsed. It's a whole lot better than where we were fucking 8 months ago. So
for sure, enjoy. Yeah. Well, you guys rock. Thank you guys so much for joining us on The Pit, and we'll see you next week.
Cheers, brother. Thank you. That was fun.